So Cardano's Alonzo hard fork was just a few weeks back, and the ADA summit just completed. Though the overall market is down, you might have on your mind what are some of the Cardano ecosystem gems that are coming to us soon. Today, we have Jack Cochin, co-founder and director of marketing for VyFi. Now, I asked him to come on and speak with you so you could hear more about them directly, but I already know some of my audience are big fans because I had heard from VyFi or heard about them a little bit, but if you in my Telegram community, you can join the link below, wrote up some really good detailed information on them, and I decided that was one I wanted to talk to find out if I'm interested in, and I thought what better way after I talk to them is let you hear from them and see what you think about what they're doing because it's pretty special. Jack, are you there?
Yes, yes, hello. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you joining us. I love to bring my community through interviews some of the best projects out there so they can hear and feel for themselves. I know when I was a new crypto investor, interviews were one of my favorite things to watch because I wanted to get a feel for the team behind it so I could gauge and figure out my interest in the token. Because the big thing that interested me about the crypto space is though I love the tech, I was really interested in investing and finding projects that I thought had a chance to do really well. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you, thank you. It's great to be here. And I'm glad to talk about my project because of what you said. It should really sit in well with that style. And when I was earlier in crypto, I used to focus more on what you'd call fundamental analysis over technical. So I definitely agree with you there.
Yeah, exactly. The fundamentals are everything. We do some technical analysis on Wednesdays that we have somebody who is exceptional at that. And what's funny is how different our views are, though I try to bring that to my audience so they can get a feel for even the technical side and how things look. But I'm a fundamentals guy. I believe in fundamentals and for longer periods of time. So if you could you tell us a super simple explanation for somebody that's maybe brand new in crypto? How would you explain VyFi to them?
So the first way I would explain it is as an automated investment solution, but then, some people don't quite know what that entails. So with Cardano's ecosystem about to be coming around the corner, we've lately seen the Binance Smart Chain ecosystem do a similar thing. It just started up a few years after Ethereum, so we got to see a new ecosystem. And on that, you see all these little DeFi popping up, all these swaps, all these potentials for users to earn passive income. What VyFi will do is look through all of those for you using an artificial intelligence, find the best ones, contribute to them, keep up with them, and then when they're no longer the best ones, switch you over, managing your money for you to keep you always at the best liquidity pools. We currently see this already in place on a few examples, but none of them are using artificial intelligence to get the job done, which is hopefully the efficiency maker and will also give us the ability to offer users risk. You can take a low risk automated investment or a high risk throughout the Cardano ecosystem.
Yeah, and this is absolutely the way I see DeFi going, right? Because we've seen this in the stock and investment world. And of course, so this idea and concept isn't even new. It's just new to crypto, and it's brand new to the Cardano ecosystem.
And it's nice because it's like DeFi on DeFi in a way. We're decentralizing the DeFi's liquidity pools with this automated investment solution.
Makes perfect sense. So for those more in-depth and more experienced in crypto and DeFi, feel free to give them kind of an overview of what you're doing too. And it's okay to, a lot of the audience is very technical this way.
So with the fun hype terms, what we're doing is an auto investor. That's the best way to say it. And it looks for yield farming solutions or just regular liquidity pools. And the quick difference because there is a confusion in that with the definition, it's not too set in stone yet. Yield farming would be when you gather all of your liquidity pools, liquidity provider tokens, and put them together in an attempt to get even more return. So what this bot will be doing is it's using neural net intelligence, neural net AI, to automatically go through all of these liquidity pools and yield farms, and then, or even just staking pools, and determine what the best return is for what you want. And we'll even have an ability to have only stablecoin liquidity providing, which, would be really good for risk. Or you can take only maximum tier brand new coins, coins that you can't really trust but have fantastic APR, in and out kind of coins. And because it's an AI, you can actually do the in and out. Whereas you and I, we can be quick, but maybe the chain's having a panic or something and we're just humans, we didn't get it fast enough. And then next thing you know, impermanent loss kicked in.
Yeah. I think some of us that are veterans from the DeFi boom of like a year ago have tried some of those and realized when we weren't fast enough to get out of something.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
still happening. And
Oh,
the thing
absolutely.
is while they're still happening, you know, it's like they're risky, of course, but they can be a money-making opportunity for an AI that's vetting it properly. And this will be a supervised AI, I should say quickly. A lot of people ask, and if you ever see a project that's doing this with an unsupervised AI, be careful. It can teach itself the wrong thing, so to speak.
Hmm.
But yeah, so for those, I usually get this question, so just to answer it right away, for anyone who might be thinking about it right now, what we're doing is we're starting with a random forest on the Binance Smart Chain. That's how we're getting our data. Because some people, you know, these need a lot of data, especially the more the merrier, and then
Hmm.
the more generations, the better. So we have to start somewhere, and we're using Binance Smart Chain data for that.
Yeah, because there's so many projects along this line that have come out in that ecosystem. Can learn a ton from them. Now that it begs the question that I'm sure the viewers are interested in. Tell us about the experience of the team, because obviously not all AIs are created equal. It takes good experience to write a good AI.
Yeah, so our main guy is our founder, our main founder, Stephen Ward. It's him and I are the founders of this project. His father has a lot of experience manufacturing AI, let's say aggregators, but also, you know, data cleaners in a way, things that just deal with data, neural net type stuff, a lot of ANOVAs, if you remember any statistics and you had to do constant comparisons. They're really good with that. And what he's done is he's worked for the website, well, for the company at the website, Propella.ai, and they're a fantastic Australian data firm, and he has a lot of experience building these neural nets. So that's John Ward. And as for our development team, I keep forgetting their names properly because of all the partnerships we've been doing lately, and everything starts with crypto. But they're a Silicon Valley dev team. They got a few PhDs in there. I'm not sure how transparent they will want to be in the future because if you saw the news lately, they say the programmers of DeFi might be liable for what happens on a DeFi, which, you know, doesn't really make sense, the whole governance thing. But
Yeah.
so we'll be able to release what we can about them. That being said, that's my friend Anushil and his little team. We have 3 PhDs on that team in functional programming. So that's probably we got lucky with that, to be honest. To find, I know projects still looking for developers, and to find 3 PhDs is pretty phenomenal. It's not cheap though, but it's Haskell.
No, it's not. But the right team makes all the difference, right? We're seeing still the beginning of the Cardano ecosystem now that smart contracts are live, and some of the projects that are starting now in 4 years are going to be giants. And
Yeah, and oh, I
so
should mention quickly, half of this team is Australian. The company is based out of Australia, and that really helps us out with the DeFi and everything.
it's amazing how much innovation has come out of Australia.
Yeah, right. A lot of forward innovation, but then lately, all of my Australian friends are annoyed that, you know, because they can't really do much there lately.
Right.
So
Except the
it's like
program in their house, they
fantastic.
just can't leave.
Yeah, they can do fantastic intellectual property things right now. Amazing. Like the regulations are very hands off, but then like the real life regulations are really there. Maybe we'll see virtual worlds coming out there
Totally.
out
Now,
of course.
could you tell us about where you are in your cycle with VyFi? So how long you've been preparing it, where we are now, what the next coming months are going to look like?
So currently, I would say we're about, this is a hard number to just throw out, but let's just say halfway through development of the swap. Not the whole platform. You know, the roadmap is pretty. Let me just take a quick look at the last date on the roadmap to see what we're looking at time-wise. Yeah, our roadmap is still pretty accurate to what we will be doing because the things like the auto harvester and the neural net will take some time. We won't be launching with those. However, we're
Uh-huh.
hoping for a late October launch. With the current state of Cardano, we're not sure. To anyone who's watching and isn't sure what that means, Cardano released smart contracts, but no documentation for them. So it's kind of like, here's the platform, go have fun, see what you can find out that is in it. It's very interesting and weird, but it's a pretty fantastic platform. So
Yeah. So it's a little bit of an unknown variable, so it's hard to tell exactly what the
yeah.
date is going to be like coming up. Now, what
That
is
being said, we're
interesting?
making progress, though. Sorry to interrupt, but yeah, we're doing pretty well.
Yeah. So one of the things I find interesting about your platform, we were talking before the video. is so your ability to move money in, and I guess let's talk about that. Moving money in, what will they be able to move into the platform that say they want to get yields on? I guess which tokens and what will that look like?
To start, you'll see mainly just Cardano, even before even VyFi perhaps. We're still trying to figure out which one we want to start with on a risk profile.
Okay.
We're thinking you might be able to just start out with ADA stablecoins. Just
Okay.
throw some Cardano straight into the platform, not even have to worry about tokens. We'll handle all that for you. And one thing keep in mind is you don't have to worry about the 50-50 split. That's part of the AI will worry about all that for you.
Okay. So all they
thank
have
God.
to do, probably the first token that they can have is ADA, and they move ADA onto the platform. And then you're going to have a swap built into everything. So they won't have to go somewhere else and swap for different tokens. Essentially, they'll just have to move ADA into there, and then it can be swapped by the AI depending on whatever risk pools that they pick. Is that a fair summary?
That's spot on, and that's what the AI really helps with too. With a regular yield aggregator, you'd have to do a lot of programming for those risk profiles, and you have to keep up with them a lot. It's honestly, this is one of the few situations where I feel a neural net might be easier before these risk profiles, once it teaches itself, of course. That caveat must be fulfilled. However, then having the ability to just be like, I want low risk, medium risk, high risk, or what we call a stablecoin risk, will be fantastic in my eyes. That's what I'm really looking forward to. It'll start with ADA and our token, VyFi.
Now, so I guess in summary there, like someone will be able to send like 1,000 ADA tokens to the platform, and then they'll be able to say, okay, I want to invest, say, 500 of them in this pool, and then the bot will automatically take it and allocate that depending on whatever it's doing in that pool, and say they put 250 here and 250 in this, and so it's something as simple as that.
You could even have it to where you're like, I have 350 ADA. I want 300 in the stablecoin pool, and I want 500 in like the higher risk. I'm trying to think of, like, pool is a great word, but I'm thinking more of like just maybe algorithm or like path, because it's what the neural net's doing with it could be doing all sorts of things, be it a pool, a farm, or just regular staking if it finds that is profitable enough and in the risk profile that you've set.
Love it. Now, tell us about the token itself. Like, so VyFi, you had a token launch just recently. Tell us about the token, at least as what you can. There's no really relevant price other than what you launched at, because it's not tradable for, another month or so?
Yeah, up until launch. So what with the token, our token is mainly going to be for governance. To be a proper DeFi, governance is needed. However, the token will also be for a few other things, such as platform use. If you want to use the learning management system, you will have to stake some of the token into a certain part of the platform. And we'll make that on a kind of bell curve, so people in countries where they kind of need, in a way, to learn more about crypto can access that for cheaper, relatively. And it has the basic thing. You can put the token into any of our staking pools and whatnot. We're going to have a bar, much like SushiSwap does. We're also going to have the ability for users to participate in a managed money fund, which will also accept the token. It'll be another route for getting to those, but it'll also be for governance, and tertiary reason will be to keep track of your investments. When you enter into a pool, we will have liquidity pool tokens as well, but then we'll have an XVyFi or something denominative token. That will be in ratio of what you put in to keep track of how much you've made, like an alternative to a liquidity pool token. Especially with if you've seen how tokens work on Cardano, they're really weird. They are more so an actual token than just a smart contract that's processing things under a fancy name. They are really like a mini currency. They're kind of confusing. But Cardano native tokens are pretty neat, and I'm a big fan of how they work. They have a lot of potential because of that too. Yeah,
it was handy that Charles Hoskinson had all the experience from the Ethereum team and knowing what it could do and what it couldn't. So then it took all this time to plan it, why I've always been a big fan of the Cardano ecosystem. When I took 2 computer science classes at the university level, they taught me how, hey, before you even sit down and start programming, build out and architect it all beforehand, then your programming goes so much better. In this space, we see people like, oh, I've got this idea. Okay, let's get the programmers, let's start. Charles Hoskinson said, wait, we're going to architect it all out. In fact, we're going to hire some real smart PhDs to prove that it's going to work and write proofs, which is something they do in computer science, where they actually do these proofs
Oh
to
yeah.
show that it's going to work. And so when he laid it out, it like made perfect sense for everything that I knew. However, the downside of that is it seems like nothing's happening for forever because you're actually doing a lot so that later it can be a really solid platform. And think of building like a skyscraper and you're digging for like 7 stories deep for forever. And so people drive by and they're like, look, that building, they've been working on it for 3 years and nothing yet. And all of a sudden, when they get all the foundations set and everything's solid, and then boom, it shoots up and it goes 50 stories into the air, and they're like, "Oh my gosh!" All of a sudden, something happened. What happened there? And it's because they don't know when you take the time to build the foundation strong, you can build a super big building on it, but it just takes a while to build those foundations. And I always felt like Charles was doing that, and his team was doing that, and his vision always made sense to me. So people who fudded on Cardano as vaporware or whatever, I'm like, obviously they don't get it, right? How could people not understand it? I don't even know. It always made perfect sense to me. So what we're seeing together now, smart contracts are really here, and I feel like this building is going to go up fast. You were sharing with me, Jack, before about where you see some of this having potential, and I hadn't thought about that aspect of it because one of the big things on Cardano is really reaching the unbanked, but with that, some problems and some learning curves. So like they go to these countries in Africa where they've never had a bank, and now they have a phone and they can get access to storing something of value, in fact investing for the first time in their life. And so you had mentioned some things that you were building into the system to really help people that haven't had that experience and don't know what they're doing, kind of along their learning curve.
Yeah, so that's I touched on that briefly. It's great that you brought that up because that is the learning management system part of it too. And yeah, these people are unbanked, so hopefully they never have to know the diminishing returns of your, how am I forgetting the word? You know, what you get monthly from Chase Bank. Hopefully they don't realize the diminishing returns of like your 0. Your 1 point interest, like
We call
1%
that
hardly.
interest, yeah, but yeah, it's not even interesting at those numbers.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even know if we can call it interest anymore. It's just like pennies. It's like it's the fee to keep you quiet in a way. You get like the tiniest bit of money now from your bank. It keeps going down every year. So hopefully, though, these people, because you know Cardano did with the huge thing with a bunch of African countries lately, they won't even have to worry about that. They'll just know great APR their whole life, even for stable investments, even for like the equivalent of a savings account. Just like how Coinbase is giving people pretty good returns, better than savings accounts right now with stable coins. So I'm really glad for that. And we have an LMS, the learning management system, that should be helping these people get into it. And when I say should be, I say you never know perfectly how people will react to things. That's being said though, that's when we refine it. And it'll be a nice little way to introduce people to crypto, hopefully some sort of reward. We are not an NFT platform, but we like NFTs as rewards in a way, or things like that. More so functional NFTs than little land grab images, JPEGs, you know.
Hmm.
NFTs that have you can use in the, like if you ever went to Dave and Buster's or Julian's, there used to be those cards that would save your game data as well as having points. Kind of like an NFT is like that.
Yeah, and on Cardano, they can hold tons of information.
Yeah, and still be fast and everything. Yeah, anyone who's watching this video, feel free to do any test transaction between any 2 Cardano wallets. It's still quick. Been a very big fan of it.
Yeah, you know, I am a fan of how it's coming together too. Obviously, the price is what a lot of us look at. Oh, the price has done really well, but the price has done really well for a couple of reasons. Number one, people get Charles's vision. They feel like he's a known quantity. He's so transparent. He comes in, does his AMAs all the time. And so you feel like for the first time
Yeah.
you have this transparency that you've never really had for an investment before. Number two, his vision makes sense. And so you're seeing some strong projects come on. Though I will say, because it's an open system, you'll have some bad projects come on the Cardano ecosystem too. And so,
Yeah.
you know, we've at first you'll see a lot of quality and then you'll see a lot of trash come in with the quality, and how to judge really comes down to getting a feel for the team, getting a feel for their backgrounds, what their vision is, and seeing if it's come together. um, I wanted to you know, you shared with me before about some of the partnerships that you guys have coming.
Yeah. I would love to show you, and you'll be the first person to get this. the
All
first person to
right.
see it before it's even live, our newest little addition to the website, which is the partner section. So let me see. Can I get this up? There we go. Present a window. So there might be one or two more added before this is public. Maybe. We'll see. It all depends on, contracts and signings. However, this is the newest addition to the website, which will show our partners. Some of these have not fully been mentioned yet. And we currently have 3 in contacts that I can't talk about yet, 2 of which might be up by the time this video goes live. Hopefully, we'll see.
Nice. And the
And
website is VyFi dot, is it .io?
yes.
Yep. Perfect.
And this will be up there shortly. Same thing. It'll just be, homepage, scroll down, and you'll see the nice little partner section.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to ADAX. We've covered a lot. A lot of my audience made a fortune on ADAX. Cornucopias hasn't launched yet, but essentially, possibly a top-tier game. They're using Unreal Engine, one of the first games to be developed on Cardano. Really looking
It's
forward
like
to
a
that
real crypto game. That one's looking cool. I've seen a lot of crypto games. This one's like a crypto game. Actually fits the definition of game. Seems pretty neat.
Yeah, totally agreed.
Like not just a phone app, because so many of these like NFT games are essentially phone apps with money involved.
Sometimes huge money, and you're like, that's scary.
Oh, by the way, because the second I showed this concept to people, I got questions. Crypto art is let me go back. Crypto art is they're a VC, they're a venture capitalist fund from Russia. People are like,
Okay.
who are they? So yeah, they're Russians. That's who they are. They're fantastic people, though. You'll probably see a Russian community with VyFi. For some reason, Russians love us. Same with South Koreans and Vietnamese and Spanish people.
There's a lot of
speakers.
Russians in the Cardano ecosystem. So.
Yeah, I've noticed that. And it's good. It's a great ecosystem. A lot of them learned Haskell. God bless. That's a wild language.
Yeah. Cool. I'm meeting a lot of Latvians too and Lithuanians that are huge Haskell programmers, and it's like, what? Amazing. So obviously they're big fans of Cardano too.
Something with Eastern Europe and Haskell and Cardano.
Yeah, it's amazing. Hey, we welcome it. We love it. Now, do you have anything you can show about the VyFi system? Anything you could share with the audience before Google's going to kick us off here in about 8 minutes?
The only thing I'd share right now, real quickly, is this is just a team page that's about to be updated. Now, as for the actual app, is there a dev environment ready? Let me see. Grab a quick one if it is. If it is, it'll be right there. As for, let me see, I could probably also get you a little sneak peek picture of something that isn't public yet. Let me open the dev chat that I'm in.
Would love it.
Ooh, all right. How do I save that? Put that there. Move this. So this is a little sneak peek image of our UI. Now, as you can see, it totally looks like pancake swaps and whatnot. Of course, we're going to start with that, but we're going to be moving away from that heavily and making it something custom in the future. This is just a little placeholder under construction. It's more functional than you would think. However, I would love to show off a swap or something, but I can't right now. It's just not ready yet. We do have a testnet swap demonstration on our Twitter, but that's testnet.
Okay. So
however, this is what the platform will look like.
Perfect.
At the very beginning.
Down on Twitter. I've got an educated audience. If you want to find their Twitter, VyFi, and then follow on Twitter so you can see what that swap looks like. Obviously, smart contracts were just released, and so no one's expectations are that this would be ready right away. But it's always cool to see what you have coming down the pipeline. Now, your token's not tradable for another month.
That's our Twitter.
Do you have any ideas, or are you able to say where it might be tradable in like a month just on your platform, or if people are interested, how could they even get it?
So, really quick, let me just end this because this is, full attention. The token will be launching on our platform first, as a DeFi as it should. And we'll also hopefully be launching on another 2 decentralized exchanges with launch. And hopefully 1 centralized exchange. I'm personal friends with the CEO of an exchange, and him and I are just talking about how mutually beneficial it would be, especially because, we got a lot of people all over the world who can use these kinds of exchanges. So it'd be good for him, it'd be good for me. The benefit of all these launches simultaneously is arbitrage. Having arbitrage when the token launches is huge for preventing wild price swings. So definitely will help with price action and long-term stability.
Awesome. Well, I'd love to have you back in probably another 6 weeks, because I bet
Yeah,
by about
sure
6 weeks
thing.
there'll probably be a ton to show.
Yeah, right. A huge update. And one thing that you can put in your description that is brand new, it's something we just released yesterday, is our emission rate. It's a 20-year long emission rate. We're not really we're in this for the long haul. This is a very serious venture for us.
Oh
So,
yeah. Well, when I was screening you, right? Because I'm really careful on what I even bring to my audience, because there's a lot of crap out there, and even a lot of mediocre out there. And I try to just bring on what, at least in my opinion, is great. Is that the team is getting so few tokens for locked up for a long time,
mhm.
and what I love that, because it really means that the team only does really well if this platform and the token does extremely well. And I like mutual incentives, right? I like it when
Yeah.
incentives are aligned. And I felt like the distribution that you did was exceptional. And I thought, team that set it up for them to be success, in order for them to really be successful, the token investors have to do well, as well as the platform. So I really like that.
Yeah, we've taken every step we can. We've even, and some users aren't a big fan of this, but hey, an ICO is CFI, that it's not DeFi at all. It's a company doing a crowd fund. Our
Hmm.
ICO also had a limit of 10K ADA max. One reason for anti-money laundering, but two, because I don't want a whale coming in with like 100K initial buy. His staking rewards will be way higher than anyone else's, and then he just gets more and more of a whale. And next thing you know, that's platform domination. You can start doing big governance votes. We're not a fan of that. It's a yield aggregator. We don't want whales coming in and ruining it for everyone. We just want something that works, you know?
Yeah, you want to spread it around amongst a lot of different people, rather than a few whales who can then
Exactly.
control the decisions and swing the votes.
And the more like decentralized it is, the better it is for you, for me, for everyone. It's a, so there's no reason not to.
Totally. Perfect. Well, Jack, anything else to mention to the audience before we wrap up?
Nothing other than that. I'm glad to be here, and thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed our chat beforehand as well, and thank you for coming on, speaking to me so I can be more updated on VyFi, but more importantly, speaking to the audience so they can as well. We'll follow you closely.
Glad to hear, and hopefully I'll see you at the next summit.
Yeah, for sure.
Came into the space chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, you buy before you're good. Was taught to buy when it was boring, like a rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I always make the time in mind. I sit the one out cause I'm patient like that, and I'll wait for the right time. I sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't lead with my heart. The principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Why when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, go parabolic and dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Make the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. The time is never better, the time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, to study and to know that nothing comes easy but with knowledge to gain show. Sticking out this wrong cause soon will come a bear market. Learning and growing, and when it's slow will be the target. Naysayers come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. I'm sticking around, the time is better. I'm strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. In 2 years time the bull will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. Let go with the hate, let the haters be crapping. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, the time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough. And that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.